one of these probably had, this tells me that one model that this works on, well, is this one going to be the right one? I did all this and it looks like the coils may not fit. Sound on?
Yeah, sounds
okay. Alright, I'm going to change coil, which I know I've got a bad coil, and the wires. I got new plugs and I looked at changing the plugs, but I just don't have time to take everything apart to get the plugs changed.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to have new plugs. They're supposed to have changed the plugs, the belts, all that stuff's supposed to have been done. So I'm not going to worry too much about the plugs. I got new ones, iridium, they're better performance for these. I don't know what they used. And someday in the future, I'll probably change them. And I gapped them to the 0.04. 040, that's supposed to be the 0.040, which is what's recommended for this engine.
All right.
The ones in there, like I said, I don't want to have to take all this stuff out. I don't have time today. So I'm changing the coil and I'm changing the wires because the coil's bad, and the wires, as you can see here, they've been pulled on and off a few times and they've got tears in them.
Yeah.
So it probably is just the coil and the wires that are the problem.
So we'll give that a shot. We're going to change.
Let's see, I bet you it's a 10 millimeter.
A couple things.
Yep, 10 millimeter.
10 millimeter.
And airbox is probably also going to be 10 millimeter. Yep, 10 millimeter.
10 millimeter.
I'm also changing the air filter. I was hoping to go to Pick and Pull and try to get a new airbox, which was probably taken out when it looks like someone's already done the head gasket overhaul on this engine. And I'm guessing that this came out when that happened because there's also a bolt missing here and a bolt missing there.
We can't say what bolt. Oh, or that works too.
Bolt missing here and here, which is probably part of the airbox assembly, which goes here, and all kinds of stuff. And there's bolts broken off. They completely broke the cover bolt off over here on the plastic for the timing belt. So I'm pretty sure that this has been, yeah. I'm sure they've taken this off because there's no reason that stuff would be broken if they didn't.
Yeah.
So this vehicle went through several different dealerships before it went to the dealership I bought it from, who buys vehicles at auction and gets the nicer, lower cost ones. Only need work.
But isn't every dealership these days a dealership that buys vehicles at auction?
Oh yeah, yeah. You have ones. Like I said, it's one of those. The ones that are honest about it are the ones you want to deal with.
Yeah. And they were pretty honest when they said, "Yeah, there's things happen to this vehicle, and
it still has this misfire, and all I've done to it so far is change the plugs." And that was.
Yeah.
And that's probably true. It had a misfire code. He probably changed the plugs to try to fix the misfire. It didn't fix it, but it was running fine, so he didn't worry about it. And like with the coolant, it's
well, running fine.
It still looks good. It's got a bit of an oil stream, but that's just from the oil in this bottle.
No, how about the one in the radiator? Then.
And it's no oil at all. It's at the proper level. It looks like it's the right level, and I don't see any oil. So good deal.
Yes, good.
But see, the person that traded in probably traded in with a blown head gasket.
Yeah.
And then the dealership got it and started to fix that, and then didn't want to fool with it. I didn't get the cap back on.
No, you didn't.
I missed.
Well, we remember you can get Asian blue and Asian green, and we theorized that whoever did it originally mixed the blue and the green.
Huh.
Because what happens when you mix Asian blue and Asian green is you get Asian jello.
Yeah, it's supposed to lock it up, and I may need a new cap. There we go. It locks on this side.
Okay.
I've got to put it this way now. The plastic's chipped off over there, I guess, and the cap wasn't holding. It doesn't have a pressure lock. It has a clutch lock, and it wasn't catching, and that caught over here.
Okay,
and there's still a screw sitting there. I need to get a magnet to get out. I don't know what goes to.
That's your lucky screw at this point. You remove that screw, this whole engine's going to fall apart.
I'm worried to remove it for that reason. It's like, great, I remove it, then it'll break.
Yeah. Your whole engine's going to come apart. Everything's going to start flying off.
And I got MSD parts, which are more performance. They're good. They're a very well recommended company. They're for performance engines. I'm not really doing it. See, these are Dragonfire. I'm not really doing the modifications yet, but I think I paid all of an extra $20 to get these as opposed to the Subaru ones.
Yeah.
And I figure for $20 I might as well go and do that. And if I decide I want to do the performance upgrade and get a new ignition computer and all that stuff in it, I've already got the coil and wires for it, and those plugs are the right ones for that setup too. So,
see,
and this one comes with your dielectric grease as well.
Yes. In the middle of the night, when he's asleep, I'm going to get Kit out here, and we're going to drill a hole right here using the cheapest, wimpiest tools we could find, and duct tape in a freaking dryer tube to it, so he has ram air. Just a hole directly on top of the roof. That's all we're doing.
Helps it cool.
Yes.
And I've considered, see, that's an intercooler airflow on the turbocharged versions.
Yeah.
And I've considered getting one of those hoods and seeing if you can't set up a ram air system on this. Because it's not going to give you near the boost. It's only going to give you a little bit of boost, and it's mostly at speed. But it still might be interesting to do, and you get the look and it'll function, and you don't have a turbocharger. It would increase airflow at the very least. It'd be able to breathe easier.
That would be the advantage, and your engine, and all jokes aside, your engine will be able to breathe easier, and you may get 1 horsepower out of it, but it'll look nice, give you the rally look that you want to go. There's a clip on top.
This is strange because it has clips and screws. So I'll just change the air filter first because, yeah, that's easy. Probably the longest project on this project.
Maybe, we'll
because
see.
I've never changed the air filter on a Subaru before.
Isn't it strange? Some vehicles, you just flip 2 clips and you pull the air filter out and then put the new one in. You don't even have to use a single tool to do it. And then other ones, you practically need an engineering degree just to get to it.
Interesting. It's got 1 log screw and then all that stuff. And this, I think, lifts out, maybe.
Maybe it's right.
Filter out of there.
It's like that box says, no, I'm not coming up.
And
yeah.
it sucked a bird.
Hey, it looks like it literally did eat a bird.
Wow, and it's the cheapest. Yeah, it needed a new filter.
Oh, good Lord.
Oh, and this is I was talking about, and now it's going to hide in the box. Now it's going to fall out the side of the box.
What's in the box? What's in the box? Okay, I won't do any more 7 references.
This is what a gap tool looks like for spark plugs.
Okay.
It's just those little rings you see a lot of times up by the counter.
So for those of you who are like just learning how to wrench, you're going to want one of these for replacing spark plugs.
It's worth spending a couple dollars because even out these good ones I got, the ideal is around that's the 0.040, and there was one that was gapped at 0.043, which is the very top of the range, so I backed it down a little bit. The rest of them were right at 4. And that's not necessarily going to be a big deal, but if you have plugs that are at different, I'm just going to open the back side. It's going to be easier.
It ain't like a air filter has a core charge, so.
But it's going to be, well, as I was talking about, for quality.
Look at that.
Subaru original equipment filter, the cheap thing that was put in there.
Yeah.
And this is original equipment.
Air filters does make a difference. You can tell by the number of pleats it's got. You can tell by the
one of the
type.
things with this is a lot of times there's no need to spend the extra money on the original, but the original equipment was only a couple dollars more than the cheap one like this is.
Yeah.
And cheaper than the performance ones that were otherwise that were similar.
Yeah.
And actually didn't look as good.
In which I go back, which I completely tell you on K&N, I'm not against K&N for racing stuff, but if you're just doing regular stuff, don't waste your money. And they're not permanent filters. You got to clean those things.
Yeah, clean them and maintain them a lot more often than you do with a throwaway one.
Exactly. Like I had a K&N on a previous vehicle I cleaned it and re-oiled it every oil change. Every time I changed my oil, I would rinse it out and put
and depending on what environment you're in, that may not be enough.
Yeah.
I've known a few people that work coal mines and put them on their diesels.
Yeah.
And destroyed the engine because it clogged up, and they were new vehicles, so of course the engine wasn't warranty because they were using the wrong air filter and yada yada yada. I've heard a couple of these horror stories.
Yeah.
From them. They did a performance diesel setup on a new vehicle, and it destroyed the vehicle because they didn't clean the filters enough. Because when you're in a high dust environment, guess what? You get to clean them daily. And I'm not kidding. I mean daily. And twice a day sometimes.
And those types of filters, pardon the sound of construction vehicles in the background, I don't know what's going on.
It's just the area. They drive their forklifts down the road.
Right. So anyway,
someone's going to lunch.
Yeah.
Like quite literally, someone's going to lunch.
Probably.
You park at you park probably over at the Mexican place. Either that or the tavern.
Anyway, as I was saying, these filters, to actually clean them, it takes a couple hours because you got to rinse it out with the cleaner. You got to wait for it to dry, and then you got to put the oil in it and wait for that to dry, and then put it back in your vehicle to clean it. So your mileage will vary on that.
Already all the bolts out.
All I saw you unhooked was the air filters. I thought you pull the plugs out, but I thought you put them back in.
No, I've got them loose, and I've got this stuff out.
Yeah, well, it'll be all right. I got stuff I can use.
Yeah, like I said, that broken wire is probably half the problem.
More than likely.
It's also showing an O2 sensor code problem, which may be because it's not. I'm hoping it's because the spark plug's not firing every time. And if that is the case, then it's going to be a minor one, and this will fix it. If not, then I've got to take O2 sensors off to change the shift linkage anyways, and I will deal with it then. I'm going to take this off to get under that. Without that being loose, I'm not going to get under that line. I can tell you the wires haven't been changed because this has never come off.
That satisfying snap of, oh God, did I just break that? Oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God. Okay, it's okay.
And this clips to... Oh, that's broken. That once upon a time clip to that.
Yeah.
And
yeah, they routed those lines underneath that. It looks like
that goes in there, and I'll fit that back where it goes.
Throttle cable?
Yeah, this is the cruise control cable.
Okay.
I think this is the cruise control.
Okay.
And the hard lines are power steering, I think. Yeah. But
well, let's disconnect it and see what you lose.
It'd be easier the other way, but I want to leave these connected to the coil. So.
All right.
And I'm going to pull that shielding off and put on the... Oh no, the new ones have shielding. Never mind. That's the nice thing about buying good ones. You don't have to use that stuff. Should be a push and pull. I should have got a screwdriver. Leatherman it is. Push and pull, but I can't pull hard enough. It's stuck on there pretty good. There we go. So you might want a flat screwdriver.
There we
go.
And that comes off.
Yep. And I'm just going to slide this back over here for now.
Those are nice looking.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, these are a lot nicer cables than what came on it.
Hmm.
And I think those are original because everything's been labeled. So someone, either, I don't know if Subaru did that or someone, whoever took this apart to work on it, did that.
Which may have been a dealership.
Yeah. And you have, they give you grease to go down in it. They give you the dielectric grease, they don't give you very much.
Yeah.
I got a big tube.
Well, you know us, we like to splatter and smather that stuff on sometimes.
Which I just realized is missing the applicator nozzle. It has a spot for an applicator nozzle and it doesn't have one.
Ba-dum, bee. Who bought it? Who bought that?
I
I think I did.
I think you did. That's all right. Doesn't matter. I've never seen one with the application one. I'm just going to put enough in the end so it, when it pushes down on the plug, it'll make a seal.
Yeah.
And come back off.
And I know we've said it a billion times, but why do I care about dielectric grease?
Because if you don't do it, you increase the odds of corrosion on the points. You also increase the chances of it getting stuck and for water getting in there and causing a problem.
Well, there you go.
Now,
A little bit of dielectric grease will help you.
figure out
A little bit goes a long way too.
which one's the longer one of these two. This is why I left it to the coil, so I can see where they are and what's where. So it's going to be that one there and this one here.
There you
The
go.
longer one's in the back.
He's just measuring there. There we go.
Make sure it seats good. Put it back in the clips.
Now, here's a dummy question. Is routing this wiring the proper way needed? Is that something I should worry about? Or if I was doing this myself?
On this vehicle, it's mainly you want to do it because it's a lot safer for the wires and it's out of space. On certain vehicles, certain Fords, some other things, they actually use the placement of the wiring as part of the electrical system because it has feedback it uses. And if you don't put the wires back in the exact right way, the engine can run badly. Because it's getting wrong information from its sensors.
So, which you
So
don't.
it depends on whether or not the vehicle has sensors that sense flow in the wires.
So now you're talking about the magnetic field that
Mhm.
wiring can generate when it runs, if it's not shielded properly.
Yeah, and you have some vehicles that use that as part of their control system.
Okay.
And so if you have a vehicle that has that, placement is very important.
Which, if you've just recently changed the wiring on your vehicle and you hadn't placed it back where where it properly goes, and it's running poorly, that might actually just be the problem.
Yeah, you may check and see if you have a vehicle that uses that information. Ah, there it goes. That was a nice fill. Push down on it and feel it suck right onto the plug. Yep.
Which, I'm not sure. I always got Rita in the back of my mind because I want to get her running, but properly. But I'm not sure if that's her problem or not, but I doubt it. I think her problem is, well, we saw cables disconnected.
Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff.
It isn't as bad as he makes it out, but we still have work to do on her.
It's got a lot of miles, a lot of age, and a lot of questionable work.
Yeah. The
older a vehicle gets and the more miles the vehicle has on it, the more likely you're going to have a lot of that.
It's worth every bit of the $1,000 I paid for it.
And I've got a sticker to add, and I'll put the date I put this stuff on it.
Oh, okay.
One of these probably had, this tells me that one model that this works on, well, is this one going to be the right one? I did all this and it looks like the coils may not fit. This coil does not fit.
What about the plug? Does it even fit the plug? That's 4 wire in the plug. That's a 3 plug coil.
Yeah, well, it's a 4 hole and it's only got 3 and it's not lined up right. So
Yeah, that ain't the correct. So this is.
yeah, and it doesn't have the right plug, so that's not the right coil. Well,
They sent you the wrong coil.
yep.
You're gonna have to send that one back. All right. Well, we'll change the wires and then see if that solves some of the issue.
Well, no, I'm gonna have to get a coil. I know that coil's bad.
There we go.
But I'm gonna go on through with that, and we'll check the auto parts store and see if he can get one in.
Okay.
Side. It says Mitsubishi Dodge instead of Subaru. Or Subaru.
Yeah. Don't you come in, Storm. You're not allowed to come here.
Not supposed to be here.
And we're avoiding pulling the battery out, pulling the reservoir tank out. The coolant, not the coolant, but you know what I mean, the washer fluid tank out. I suppose reservoir is a proper term for that.
There we go.
And there we go.
Took a little bit. Okay, those two. Yeah, the front one's longer, that's what I thought. 2 is longer.
Dielectric.
And try to get this in there again because it's at an awkward, very awkward angle. There we go. Hopefully it's not been too long. It's been about a month since I've ordered that, so.
Now you ordered it from Amazon, right?
Yep.
Oh, they're doing their Christmas thing right now.
That's right, so it's extended, so I'll
Yeah.
send it back. That was not a cheap part. They sent the wrong ones. What happened?
But still, just the sheer
I'm
fact.
just gonna probably, if I can get, I think I can get this from my local dealership, my local parts store. So if he can get one in, I'll just pay a little extra and get it from him.
Yeah. They're good people up there.
Yeah.
That's the far one.
Yeah. I'm trying to get myself all the wire I can up here.
That's fine.
I know I'm gonna have a little extra, but I can adjust that later. But right now, I want to be able to get this lower clip back on when I'm done. Sure that's on good. I know that's seated, but I want to double check it again. Okay. Don't have anything to use that. I was just thinking, do I have anything that can use this coil? No, I don't.
No, you don't have a Mitsubishi or a Dodge. Don't think you're planning on getting any Dodge 4-cylinders that'll use that.
I don't know. It's probably a neon one. Might end up with a Plymouth Neon or a Chrysler PT Cruiser or something at some point, just for fun and giggles.
Yeah, if we end up with a Plymouth Neon, it is going to be turned into a weird racer.
Any
Type
of
of a
those will
thing.
be turned into a weird racer.
Yeah, a la Roadkill style. Only we're not going to put a 8-cylinder turbocharged engine in it.
Might add a supercharger to go along with the turbo.
Yeah, we might add a supercharger to go along with the turbo.
Super turbo. So you have
Say goodbye to the transmission.
get a manual tranny. That's a rule on that one. I'm doing a manual if I get one.
Yeah.
Not necessarily so much because there's a problem with the transmission, it's just the fact that it's just a lot funner. Because Chrysler's transmissions are slush boxes.
They are. The automatics are slush boxes. You're no fun at all. You want a manual if you got a Chrysler or Dodge product. I don't care what year model. You want a manual. Chargers with a frickin' manual transmission are fun. These two make fun of me for that, for liking Dodge Chargers.
I don't make fun of you for liking Dodge Chargers.
Much.
Kit does.
Yeah.
I don't mind them either. I just make fun of them in general.
Hmm.
They're great in a straight line.
Yes, they are. That's what I mean. They're great in a straight line. There we are. Now all we need is the coil.
Right coil, yep. I'm going to go on and grease these so the moisture doesn't get in them.
All right.
It'll seal them off. So if it takes a while for a part to get in, don't mind my hands. I know they're shaky.
There we go. Now when we come back to this, we'll have a coil to install, and then y'all will hear it run.
Yep.
Maybe even watch it run.
This is a 4 flow, so
Yep.
yeah. Keep it from corroding while it's sitting.
Okay.
And so hopefully I'll have a coil in a day or two.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yep.
We'll come back to this one.
All right. Till then.
All right.
So long.